Hello boys. We will be beginning with the chapter on fractions today. Now what is a fraction? A fraction means equal parts of a whole. That is, if you break something into pieces, each piece is called a fraction. Now what is a whole? A whole means anything that has not been divided. Like this pizza here, for instance, it has not been cut into any slices. So it is one whole pizza. Or this bar of chocolate here, it has not been broken into pieces, so it is one whole bar of chocolate. Now what if I cut the pizza into slices? Here you can see that I have cut the pizza into many slices. Now if I tell you to take a piece, let's say you choose this piece here, and I ask you, how much of the pizza did you get? Did you get the whole pizza? No. Did you get half of it? No. So that's where fractions come in. So now to name this piece, we are going to use fractions, and this is how it is done. First, count the number of pieces that you've made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. You write it there at the bottom, put a line on top, and then how many pieces did you get? You got one piece. So write that 1 at the top. So now you can tell me that you got 1 out of those 8 pieces, or 1/8 of the pizza. Now as you can see, the fraction had two numbers. The one below is called the denominator and the one on top is called the numerator. The denominator is the number of pieces that you made, and the numerator is the number of pieces we are talking about. Now let us try and divide this bar of chocolate among 15 boys. Now as you can see, this chocolate has small squares, 15 of them, and I have cut them vertically and then horizontally like this. Now I will distribute them equally among the 15 boys by giving them each one square piece. So now if I ask you how much of the chocolate does each boy get, he gets 1 out of those 15 pieces, or 1/15 of the chocolate. Now if I were to divide that same bar of chocolate among only 5 boys, I can just break the chocolate here. So each boy is still getting only one piece. But how many pieces have I made? I've made only 5 pieces, and I've given you 1 out of those. So now you are getting 1/5 of the chocolate. Here, same chocolate, again I'm dividing, but here only among 3 boys. So your share increases. How many pieces did you make? That becomes the denominator, that is 3. And how many pieces did you get? Just 1. So that becomes the numerator. So you get 1/3 of the chocolate. So what did you notice when I broke those chocolate pieces? The denominator changed because the number of pieces that I was dividing the chocolate into, it changed. First it was 15, then 5 and then 3. But the numerator did not change because every time you were only getting one piece. Now here, what if I give you more pieces? What if I give you 2 out of those 15? Then the number of pieces that you get is 2, so that becomes the numerator, and the number of pieces I made, that becomes the denominator, 15. So you get 2/15 of the chocolate. Here I am giving you 4 pieces. So 4 becomes the numerator and 15 is the total number of pieces, that becomes the denominator. So you get 4/15 of the chocolate. So what did you notice here? The denominator did not change because I was dividing the chocolate into 15 pieces in both cases. But the numerator changed because first I gave you 2 pieces and then I gave you 4 pieces. Similarly, here I am dividing it into only 5 pieces, but I am giving you 2 out of those. So you get 2/5 of the chocolate. here and giving you 4 of those pieces from here. So you get 4/5 of the chocolate. So again, what did you notice? The numerator changed, but the denominator did not change, because you made 5 pieces in each case, but in the first instance I gave you 2 pieces, and in the next I gave you 4 pieces. So summarizing, a fraction means a part of a whole. A fraction has a numerator and a denominator. What is the denominator? It is the number of pieces that you have made. And what is the numerator? It is the number of pieces that we are talking about. Now let's move on with the different types of fractions. We have unit and non-unit fractions, like and unlike fractions, proper and improper fractions. Now let's see how fractions are grouped. Notice these fractions which are here and the figures that they represent. Can you see one thing in common? Yes, they all have the same numerator, that is 1. The same with these fractions here. All of them, they have the same numerator. So these type of fractions which have the numerator 1, they are called unit fractions. Now non-unit fractions, take a look at these figures and the fractions that they represent. Notice the numerators. They are not equal to 1 or they are bigger than 1. So these type of fractions which do not have the numerator as 1, they are called non-unit fractions. Now the next grouping is like and unlike fractions. Here you just have to check the denominators. So here if you see all these fractions, they have the same denominator, that is 4. So these type of fractions which have the same denominator, they are known as like fractions. Now unlike fractions, note the denominators again. All these fractions, they have different denominators, 8, 3 and 6. So these fractions are unlike. Now the last grouping is proper fractions and improper fractions. Now here you have to check both the numerator and the denominator. Notice these fractions here. Here you can see that all the numerators are smaller than the denominator. So these type of fractions are called proper fractions. Now here the denominators are all smaller than the numerator, or the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So these type of fractions are called improper fractions.